Good afternoon, everyone. So we have still, counting is 34. Should we wait for another few more minutes or shall we start it? Okay, let us wait for, few more minutes. Let's people can come in and join in. Or else we can just start it, okay? That's not at all up. No problem. Okay, guys, where we were, anyone? Okay, let me share my presentation. Mhm. Yes. So I guess somebody has pinged me. Classes and object. Thank you so much, 528. Yep. So we were in classes and object, and I have described about what exactly the class, how is it the class is being defined, what is an object, how exactly the object you can initiate, or maybe object how you are using for a particular class. So it's pretty much simple, and I'm hoping everybody is on the same page so that we can move ahead. So now how exactly we can use object and classes? Okay, how? And means suppose I need to get one program from where I am able to understand, okay, this is what the object, this is what the class. Okay, so I just wanted to take one example for you all so that everybody get clarity on how exactly we do these object and classes in Python programming. So before that, just let me ask one question from you all. You guys have object oriented programming classes, if I am not mistaken. Correct me. Yeah, is it um, how much that class has been gone? Means what I mean is how many topics your professor has covered so far? Can somebody write on a chat box, or maybe somebody can speak? Because I just wanted to understand the basic background and what about where exactly you guys lies on that topic, because I don't want to conflict. Okay, because if I am gonna cover anything, or maybe if I will take it one by one each topic, and I will take examples for object oriented programming, then it is another sort of a different topic, you can say. Like, I really don't have any issue with that to launch and again do this kind of stuff, maybe everything from the beginning, you can say, like, in object oriented. But I don't want to do that, because if you're already one of faculty is taking this class, then you might have aware all the basic things, or maybe you might have done some sort of coding on that. So I just wanted to know from you all how many, or maybe how many chapters, or maybe unit, you can say, like, that has been covered from your faculty. Guess, maybe, do you have any idea? So please do let me know, guys. I am just waiting for. Okay, 3 unit has been completed there. Okay, then, so I don't need to repeat actually this particular topic, so I'll just give you a simple walkthrough so that you will be able to understand how exactly you are correlating all the oops in Python. Okay, so I'm gonna take some examples, I'm gonna take some coding stuff so that you will get much more clarity. So guys, let me start with the object and class. So I hope this font size is pretty much very small, so I don't want to waste our time here. So just quickly we will go back to Jupyter notebook so that I can explain you over there. Okay, so guys, let me know if you are able to see my Jupyter notebook, please. So I'm gonna here write classes and object, and I'm gonna give example, one of the example. I don't know how many of able to correlate this. So now what exactly I am trying to do here is, you just need to I'm gonna read each line one by one. So if you guys have any issue with any line, please ping me, because line is mentioned over there. and you would be able to see that. So please ping me and ask me, sir, what exactly the doubt you guys are having. Okay, now tell me one thing. Yep. So first of all, what is class? So let me give a name of class as in human. So I have started and giving the name by using the class keyword, and giving the name of my class is nothing but the human. Now here I have just taken one of the attributes. So my attribute is nothing but the gender is my one of the attribute. Okay. Now here inside the class I am going to define something. I'm going to define like this. Okay. So this is what nothing but the you want to instance attribute, or maybe you wanted to initiate your attribute. How exactly you can initiate that? So here I have just one method which is nothing but the initialization kind of thing, where I'm just writing self, which is you can write or not. It doesn't matter much, but yeah, it's always useful to make it on in a self. Okay, then I'm writing name and age, okay, as an argument, which goes to this method, initialization method, you can say, where self dot name is nothing but the name which I'm getting from here. Self dot age is nothing but the age which I will be getting from here. Okay, now after this we instantiate the human class. So how exactly we can instantiate that? So I am gonna take human, I'm gonna call that the human name, and then I'm gonna pass two different things. So what two different things is, suppose here the method is nothing but the, now you can see I'm gonna call this particular method. Okay, this is one of the method. How exactly I will call, because this is nothing but the human, inside that there is an attribute, you can say. So human, I will call that class name, and I will pass the name of myself, or maybe name whatever you name it, and then you pass the age. Why are you doing this? Because here it is expecting two arguments. So when it is expecting two arguments, you need to pass those two arguments. So with this we can initiate, you can say, the human class. Afterward, if you will see here, how exactly I can access attributes. So here I have mentioned like this. To access the class attribute, what we need to do? So I'm trying to write here print pk is a. So what exactly value should come here? So if I wanted to access some attribute, what is attribute? So attribute is nothing but what? Attribute is what? Gender is a kind of attribute. Yes. Name is also an attribute. Okay. So now what I'm trying to write here, pk, which is nothing but this pk dot, and then you are trying to access the class. Okay, and then you go to the class attribute is nothing but the gender, so you can go to the gender. Okay, same way, and sk is also a format, and you are just trying to access. So when I will call for pk, then I will write here pk, and when I will call for sk, I should have mentioned like sk, and then everything is to be same. Now in the same manner, we have another thing. Suppose I wanted to just get the name of my, even this is the object, you can say. Object, I have passed this kind of name and age. I wanted to retrieve this name and age using this method. So I'm just passing this, and let's see how exactly our method and everything has to be getting printed. You can see here pk is a male. Okay, why this has mentioned as a male? Because we are trying to access the class attribute gender. Okay, and sk is also a male, it is saying the same thing. Now instead of this attribute, I just wanted to get my name and my age. Okay, how I'm gonna get? So you would have to write like this. So you should mention like PK is 27-year-old and SK is 28-year-old. Okay, so if you will see here, I had done what? I had done nothing. Here I am trying to, use the name. Here I am trying to, use my age. Okay, so here I'm doing same thing in repetitive manner. So this is how you can make the classes, and this is what the object. Now when you call object dot class, okay, you can say object dot attribute. So this is how you can access, even the class, even the object, how you can, define, and then you can use that. So we can move on to the, next presentation, what exactly it is. Yep. So built-in class attributes. So what exactly the built-in class attributes? So built-in class attribute which can be accessed using the dot operator. Okay. So dot operator, using dot operator, we can access that built-in class attribute. So if I would mention underscore dict and then underscore, then that is nothing but the dictionary containing the class's namespace. Okay. So if you want, in this manner, you can use that your attribute. Suppose you want to, use class attribute which is already there, then you have to write like this: dictionary containing the class's namespace. Now underscore dot, which is nothing but the class documentation or string or none. Okay. So none when it is not being defined. Name, when we want to, specify, then I will write this just class name to get actually. Module, then a module name in which the class is being defined. This attribute is nothing but the in what we can say like interactive mode actually. And basis, you can mention a possibly empty tuple containing the basis classes in the order of their occurrences in the base class actually. Okay, hope this clears you or not, I don't know, but truly speaking, we are gonna use all this stuff, in later part. So don't worry, we will cover this as well. Okay, so let me just move on to the next topic. uh, I'm pretty much sure like you guys are aware about method and all, but I just wanted to check with you whether you are aware about the methods or not. I have covered method, I have covered functions, but I'm not sure about you guys, whether you guys are, if I will ask somebody what is method, is there anyone who can, define that method? Who can tell what exactly the methods are? Is there someone? No or what? Can somebody guide me what exactly the method? Is there anyone who can speak? Guys, I have covered, I or maybe I have given one complete day for this, you know, for method. I would say I have covered method and functions, and I have given, a lot of time to these two topics because, everywhere we are gonna use method and as well as, functions. But I'm not sure like you guys are pretty much, aware about it or not. Guys, please, it's my sincere request to you all to please revise the topic which I am covering and which I am going to cover. I keep on saying the same thing, but you guys are really don't know what exactly you guys are doing or busy with what all stuffs. Okay, because if you will not revise all the stuff, you will definitely forget. Okay, okay, somebody has pinged me, somebody is trying to say something. Okay, let me see what exactly. Okay, thank you so much. I got answers from few people. Thank you so much. Yes, so method are the function which are defined inside the body of a class which are used to define the behavior of an object. Okay, great. That is tightly associated with an object. Great. Thank you so much. 536. You have given actually my definition, the one I have gave the last time. So thank you so much for that. And now let me describe in another way with the basis of object. So method are the functions defined inside the body of a class which are used to define the behavior of an object. Okay. Now how exactly I'm gonna define the method is nothing but we have to use the same class name, the one which I have used previously. You have to write in the same manner. So let me just go back to my Jupyter notebook. So let me share my Jupyter notebook. Here we go. And then here I'm gonna write like this. Okay. So I'm trying to specify the same thing with you all, how exactly we can define the method here. Now, this is the class which earlier we have used. Same, nothing but the human class. Okay. Now this is nothing but the instantiate. You wanted to instance an attribute, so you can mention it like this. Now inside that I have tried to use definition. So there are two methods which I am trying to use here is what? Tell me, just somebody can ping me or somebody can tell me what exactly two method I am trying to use here. Can somebody please help me with that? No, no one is trying to do that. Okay, so now guys, look here. We have work is one method which I have defined here. Residence is another method which I'm trying to use here. So inside the class, you can see inside the class, this is nothing but the instantiate attribute. So I really don't care about this. But there is another two method which I have used here, work and residence. So in work, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to instance method. So here how exactly I have written this, it's a method which will take organization name and it is trying to print somebody works in the organization, so that organization which will come from this argument. Okay, and nothing I have done so far. So here I am trying to use the attribute which is nothing but self dot name. So basically the name attribute which is given here. Okay, and this argument I am going to take from work. Now another method I am trying to define here is residence. Now residence, when I say residence, then it's the self, and then I am trying to again passing this res nothing but you can say like it's a kind of variable of which I'm trying to use for residence basically. Now what exactly it is here, it is given is I am trying to instantiate the object. So same way, the way I have done in previous example, I have written just how exactly I was trying to instantiate the object. Now I have to call our instance method. So these are nothing but our method. I wanted to call okay these methods. So I need to use object name, like pk is my object. So I am gonna write here object. Okay, and then I'm gonna call dot work. Dot work what? Dot work is my method which is being used here. So this is what the entire method which is known as nothing but the work method. This one is for the residence method. Okay, so these two methods. So I have already taken here the object. Now I have already told you in my class like how exactly you can use the object. So if you guys have remembered, I have said object dot method name. Method name. This is what actually you have to call. Guys, are you getting my point or not? So this is what method name is, what work. Object name is what here PK. So I'm trying to just pass here CTS tag. So work, in place of work, I'm trying to pass CTS tag. So when I try to pass in place of work one argument, that means it is gonna print what? It is gonna say PK works in CTS tag. So that is what it is going to print. Okay. Now in the same manner, let me use, instead of PK, let me use SK. So here in SK, let me, instead of CTS, Cogno. Okay, and instead of this, Hyderabad. Now, guys, are you getting my point or not? Now let me run this. What exactly the output are we going to get? You can see here we are getting PK works in CTS tech. Okay, and here PK stays in Bangalore. Are you getting my point or not? Okay. Now you can see here I have mentioned here sk.works. Now in sk.works, what it is coming out, we are getting here sk works in Cognotank and sk stays in Hyderabad. So now this is where you have to just strike it out using same method. Using same method, I can call different objects. So my object is one PK, object one we can say, or maybe if you wanted to write object one, you can write it as an object one, and object two is nothing but this one. So when I am trying to use object one, then I can get all the values which belongs to object one, and when I am trying to use object two, I can get all the values regarding object two values. So respectively it works, and now you can see the simplicity level of this. How many objects I can create, I wanted to create, I can create here. Okay, but every time I just need to change these kind of values, nothing else I need to change. But you can see like everywhere we can use these two methods, that's it. We are not going to increase method, we are not going to use another method to define PK. For PK actually what exactly work, where exactly will you do your work, or where exactly I do my work, or maybe where do I stay actually. So basically these kind of stuff you can play using this kind of object, and when you try to use method. Now let me just move on to the next topic. I hope this clears you a bit more, how method is being used, how the classes is being used, how the object is being used in a class, how to call the method using an object in a class. So method is being defined inside the class, and from the outside class we can instantiate the object, and we can call the method using an object. Okay. So we can pretty much clear. I don't know how many of you have got, just want acknowledgement from you all whether I am clear or not. I want acknowledgement from you all. 528, thank you so much, I got from you only. I got two responses, three. Somebody said, please explain once again. So just wanted to check how many of you want that again. Somebody has said, please explain once again, sir. Then I just wanted to know, like, how many of you all want me to repeat it again? Okay. So nobody is trying to say like repeat it again, sir. Everything is clear actually. So we have to move on actually. And sorry, I don't know. I don't remember the name of that. Rishabh, sorry. Whatever I was saying is, I was in between something and I forget the name actually. Anyway, let me move on to the something else. Okay, somebody has pinged me. Okay, now, so in the object oriented programming, we have few more things, or maybe you can select few more topics which we need to cover is what is inheritance. So I would like to know from you all, what is your understanding for inheritance? Can somebody ping me or can somebody speak in front of me? What is inheritance? Thank you. 520 531. Thank you so much. Yes. So inheritance is nothing but the way of creating a new class for using details of an existing class without modifying it. The newly formed class is derived from an existing class's base file. Or base base class. Now, what does that mean is we can create a new class using the same detail, or maybe you wanted to modify few of the detail, or maybe few methods which you wanted to modify using the existing class. Means when I say existing class, that what does that mean? Existing class is nothing but the parent class, or maybe you can say like base class. Now you wanted to derive something and you wanted to write some other method in your derived class. You just need to write that method. That's it. Now, there is a way to find out whether this is a subclass or maybe this is a superclass. How, what exactly this class is. So there is a method which is nothing but the is subclass. So the is subclass used to we generally use, it's a kind of boolean function basically which returns true if the given subclass, okay, is indeed a subclass of the superclass. So I am trying to write the name here of subclass, and then I am trying to use superclass name. So suppose I am going to use here uh, uh, I'm going to try to use here name of the subclass, or maybe name of the superclass. Now we will have to look into that. Is there any way to we to do two different you can say like two different your classes, we can say like whether it is a superclass or whether it is a subclass. So how exactly we can identify? So here in our case, human, we have already defined, or maybe we have already written the one of the class. So now again one more class I am trying to make it, but there are only few methods I'm gonna describe. So here in this example, the subclass is what? Subclass is your new class. Maybe you can say like from human you wanted to male, you wanted to try male. Now include ना मिली हैं. Are you getting my point or not? So the Boolean function returns true if the given subclass sub is indeed a subclass or superclass. And same way is instance object comma class. You can also know the Boolean function here returns if the object is an instance of a class. Okay, basically this is nothing but the class name, you can say, or is an instance of a subclass of the class. Are you getting my point? You just need to know whether particular, you just need to know two different class names, that's it. Okay, and then you have to just use this kind of method, or maybe you can say that function, to know whether this class belongs to this or whether this class belongs to you know that. So basically it's an pretty much a small script which is being written to identify that. Now we can move on to the next topic, overriding methods. I don't know how many of you will able to understand this, but I'm pretty much sure like you guys have learned about this as well. Okay, what is overriding? Why we call it as an overriding methods? Okay, so you need to know where we are trying to use overriding, where we do this kind of stuff. So let's say when we want a different functionality, I'm talking about different functionality in our subclass, then we can override parent class methods. How? Suppose let's say let me take a very simple example. Okay, now you want your house which is being built by your parents, you want to modify it, or maybe you wanted to use you wanted to create one more floor, or maybe you wanted to put some more, basically you can say like some more what we can say, you wanted to keep some more stuff. Okay, like sofas and maybe hydraulic bed and all. Maybe you can say like it's a new technology things you wanted to put on your house. Now what is parent class here? Your house which belongs to your parent, that is parent class. Now you wanted to include just few stuff. Okay, not entire thing. So house is your remains the same, and now what all stress you want, that is nothing but the override methods, you can say. Or maybe you can say like same method is already there. Maybe your furniture, there is some furniture, let's say your dad has already purchased that furniture long back, maybe 10 years back, and now you wanted to modify it. And when you modify it, you wanted to give some other name, let's say. Now you just override that your parents sofas, or maybe your parents furnitures, you can say. Okay, so here I am just going to give you one basic example which is pretty much explainable. If you will look into that, you can see what exactly I'm trying to say from the last 5 minutes. Let me share my Jupyter notebook. Here I'm gonna write like this. Okay, so let me make this as in this. Okay, yes, yes. Now you can see here what I'm trying to use here is, first of all, I have created class with the name of parent class. Now we have two classes here. One is parent class, second one is child class. Now in parent class, I have one method which is nothing but the common method. I used to say a common method. Here is common method. I have just defined with the that method as in def and common method. Now if you will look here, you can see in the parent class I have written calling parent method, or maybe you can say like here parent method call. Suppose I have written like this. Now here I am trying to write child class. Now here you will see the same method. Here I was using common method. Here I am trying to use common method. Now here I am trying to write here something else apart from what is written over in parent class. I am writing here child class method. Okay, and here I have to write call, and here I have written parent class method. What is the difference you can see here? Now when we use, or maybe when we want to override the method of parent class, we have to use that class here as well. So in my child class I am just going to give this. You can see here what I have written here is, I haven't done here anything. I have just mentioned the parent class name. That's it. So here you can see I have just written parent class. That's it. When I wrote parent class, I just need to call the common method. That's it. Now how I'm gonna do the object, how I'm gonna create object, and then how I'm gonna use an object, and then I will use the class child class. So here what I have written here is, I am just gonna create an object, or maybe you can say instance, for the child class. So child class, you have to just call the name of the child class, and you just create instance. So instance is nothing but the CC. Now this is nothing but the called, we can say it's the object. Now object dot method. So here again, once again you can see I'm trying to call this object dot method. Here we do this. Now when we call object dot method, then we have this one. Now it will call this, and it will use child class method, and it will print child class method call instead of parent, because both the methods are almost same. You can see there is no difference between these two methods. Okay, now let me run this. You can see here we are getting the output as in child class method call. So same way, suppose you have written here some method, or maybe you have written some method with the name of calculation, and you are performing few calculation. Okay, now let me see here, you are just writing few calculation as in subtract, addition and subtraction. That's it. Now in child class you want division as well as multiplication Along with that, you also want what? You also want addition and subtraction. Then how exactly you can do that? That is also can be done using this. Okay. Now we will quickly move on to the next topic. So we can move on with something else. Now, in object-oriented programming, you might have heard these two things as well. One is encapsulation, another one is polymorphism. So what is encapsulation? So in encapsulation, we can restrict access to methods and variables using OOPS concept. So suppose we wanted to restrict our method or maybe variable and provide some different access level, or maybe you don't want to provide the access to your methods to everyone. Okay. Now how we can do that? So that is possible only through the OOPS concept. So in OOPS there is encapsulation, which what it does, it will try to restrict your method as well as your variables. So suppose you wanted to provide access to someone else, or maybe you wanted to use few methods for your purpose, and or maybe you wanted to restrict your method to be used by someone else. So in industry generally how exactly people works, they used to define methods and they used to define variables, but few variables are being used to some different department, and few variables, few method are being used to the different department. They don't want to overlap different departments. That is why they try to use encapsulation there, and it prevents the data from the direct modification. Okay. So direct modification you won't be able to do that. Now that is why our data, we used to say is quite we used to say it's secure and safe. Okay. Now polymorphism is another topic, which is is an ability to use a common interface for multiple forms. Multiple forms means maybe multiple data types, you can say. Okay. And we can have then we can have what then we can have here polymorphism. Let me define polymorphism here. I have written very simple example, definition, but instead of this you can just correlate what I'm trying to say here. Suppose you have define one interface, or maybe you have tried to build one interface. Now same interface is being used in a multiple people, or maybe in multiple form, or maybe you can say like for multiple purpose. Then that is called as polymorphism, and that is very important for all the programming languages, because we are not gonna sit and we are not gonna write all the method, all the functions to be written based on the your need. No, it is being defined once, and then you have to use for your purpose separately. Okay. It's not like everybody, suppose you wanted to use something, then you have to write your own interface. No, it has to be common interface. Okay. So maybe you just take an example in suppose you wanted to look into the weather forecasting. Okay. And maybe you wanted to check a digital clock, what is the time is in digital clock, and then you want the same time to be printed on your Python code. Then what you are going to do, you are just going to call that method, and just you're trying to access the time. That's it. Okay. So that is how the interface works. Few more things which you need to understand actually. So why we prefer oops, I don't know, means on a varied I guess yesterday only or day before yesterday, somebody has asked me why we prefer oops. So what it basically does. And all these four topics which I'm gonna talk about is already being covered before, and when I was doing some sort of coding stuff, I was covering the same thing there also. Now, what exactly, truly speaking, oops makes our life easier, truly speaking. So just keep in your mind, that is the main, you can say, like, thought. Even I feel like this. I don't know how about you guys, whether you are, maybe, maybe after some time, after some point of time, you will be able to understand the same stuff. So what exactly oops, why we prefer oops makes the program easy to understand and more, makes more efficient actually. Okay. And code can be reused because here the class is shareable. Okay. So maybe your class is shareable, then you try to use the same code for, or maybe you try to reuse the same code for your purpose, or maybe try to define different classes or maybe methods, you can say. So basically, if classes is the reusable, then that means, what you are trying to do is, you're trying to use all classes which is already built in, or maybe if somebody has defined that class, then you try to access their methods easily. Okay. Maybe somebody has already they have come up with one class in which they have given some sort of calculation, and in your method, or maybe in your class, you wanted to use that same method which is present in that class, then you just try to call that class, and then just you try to call the method of that class. That's it. As I mentioned previously, encapsulation. Okay, data is secure and safe because of abstraction as well. Everything comes in an abstract manner, so your data is pretty much secure and safe. And then polymorphism, which I just now spoken, polymorphism allows the same interface for different objects, which makes the code more efficient actually. Okay. So till this we are pretty much fine, and I have covered almost everything in OOP. Okay. And now we have another thing, is what? Garbage collection. I don't know how many of you are aware about garbage collection, but yeah, that's an important topic actually. So Python deletes unneeded objects. Basically, you can say built-in types or class instances automatically to free the memory spaces. Okay. Otherwise, you may end up by creating multiple, or maybe so many objects. Maybe your objects are somewhere live and you don't know how to use it, or maybe you must have forgotten this object I have created. Okay. So in Python, it is automatically being freed up, you can say, like. So it automatically free the memory spaces, and that is why you can say, like, your memory is not getting a burden, so much burden when you are working on a Python. Okay. So Python garbage collector runs during program execution. So please note it down. Python garbage collector always runs during program execution and is triggered when an object reference count reaches to the 0. Suppose there is no more references to that particular object, that means there is nothing, nobody is trying to use that basically object. Then you Python, what it does, what it is going to free that memory which is allocated to that particular object. Okay. So that is why it is keeps track of that all the objects, and it is trying to see whether any references present for particular object or not. So you have, let's say you have 7 8 objects you have defined, and you are not trying to use 5 objects. So if you are not trying to use 5 objects, that means there is no reference at all present in that. Okay. If there is no reference, that means count of the reference is being 0. Then what Python tries to interpret it as, there is no use of these objects. Let me just delete everything, or let me just free the memory which is being allocated to these objects. Okay, that is how Python manages this memory management. So basically garbage collection, you can say, like. So with this, we are pretty much fine with the topic, and with this, I just wanted to stop screen sharing, and let me just ask you all, guys, any doubt, any confusion, any sort of questions? Please, you can ask. Is there any doubt? Is there any question? Please let me know straight away so that I can take it up. Okay, no doubt. Okay. So 528 says no doubt, but it still means I need a few more acknowledgement from you all so that I can close today's session. Okay, guys, any doubt so far, or are we clear so far? Okay, we are pretty much clear. Thank you so much. I just wanted to know one more thing, like how the classes is going on. Are you guys are really coping with me or not? Means are you following up or not? You guys are following me or not? No acknowledgement yet. What does that mean? Yes, sir. Following. Thank you so much. I got response, at least two responses I have received. Thank you so much, guys, because this is very important class. Truly speaking, from the day one, I repeatedly telling you the same thing, because here if you will perform well, then nobody can stop you on anything. Truly speaking. Okay. So please try to revise everything whatever I used to give. Suppose today's session I have covered what all topics I have covered. You just go back and you just sit, and then you try to think about it, what exactly he has explained, what exactly he has shown up, or maybe what code he has written. So you will get some rhythm of your own, and then you would be able to perform some stuff. Okay, with this I'm going to close this session. Thank you so much for the participation, and please do let me know if you have any further doubt. Ping me over the cell phone, or maybe anywhere wherever you wanted to ping me. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. Bye bye, we'll see you tomorrow.